Throughout my journey as a musician and a producer, I've always found great inspiration in exploring other people's recording setups. There's something fascinating about seeing how different artists and engineers configure their spaces, choose their gear, and optimize their workflow. Each studio tells a unique story about its owner's creative process and priorities. Whether it's browsing through online forums, watching studio tour videos, or visiting friends' home studios in person, I've learned that there's no single right way to build a recording space. Instead, seeing the diverse approaches others take has helped me understand what matters most for my own music-making needs and has guided my decisions in assembling this setup. Today, I share with you my home recording studio. So my primary objective with creating my home studio was to balance my space as well as my budget. Now, I'm not pretending to have the most amazing studio in the world, but it doesn't matter. It's mine, right? So that's what I set out to do when I first started recording. And today I'm going to show you some different pieces of gear that I use currently in my recording studio to make the songs that I make. It gives me professional results. It's intuitive and easy to work with. I wanted to have a setup that I could just walk into the studio and turn on the computer and be ready to have ideas flow. I didn't want to spend a lot of time having technical problems and troubleshooting, although that is inevitable a lot of the time, most of the time. So anyway, it was, trying to build a professional recording environment as much as I could, something that was vibey, had some different lights, different colors, but something that would allow me to work efficiently. Every piece of equipment that I have here in my studio was chosen with an intention in mind, and that was to support a fast, intuitive workflow while maintaining the sonic quality necessary for professional results. So I'm going to show you the pieces of equipment that I use, and hopefully this helps inspire you. So as you can see, my room is small. Now, you don't need a lot of space to have great results. What you do need are the fundamental pieces of gear to get the sounds that you're making into a computer and out to people's ears so they can hear your creations. To start, you need the brain of your recording studio. And for me, that's a laptop. I use an ASUS VivoBook Pro 15 as the nerve center for everything that I'm doing. That gives me enough power to control my DAW, the plugins, and handle all of the different hardware pieces that I've got connected to it. Next, and arguably the most important part of any recording studio, the interface. You can see here that I'm using a Universal Audio Apollo Twin X Thunderbolt. Now, the beautiful thing about my ASUS laptop is that it does have a Thunderbolt 4 port. Now, this is something that you have to be careful because that's technology that primarily is associated with Macs, but a lot of Windows computers are starting to come with the Thunderbolt connectivity. The Thunderbolt is great because you can get very, very fast data transfers, and this has been a game changer for my workflow and my sound quality. Now, you have to plug something into your interface. Now, I've used a number of microphones over the years, and you can get a lot out of inexpensive microphones. I mean, the SM57 is a workhorse that all of us are probably familiar with. I was able to upgrade to a Warm WA87, which is a Neumann U87 clone. And that has been a huge change for me with the sound quality of the recordings that I'm getting. And I use it a lot for vocals, acoustic guitar, room miking, anything and everything. Another microphone that I use is the Audio-Technica AT2020. It works fantastic. This is what I'm talking through right now as we speak. The Rode NT1 is a great budget-friendly condenser. I've got a Bluebird bottle microphone condenser that works well too. I kind of gravitate towards one or two microphones. Having less options seems to streamline my workflow a little bit more rather than paralysis by analysis and having an endless amount of microphones to select from. This is also a helpful perspective on this when you don't have thousands of dollars to spend on a ton of expensive microphones. For my DAW, I use Studio One Pro. It's a very intuitive DAW, and the interface is clean, sleek, and gives me all the features that I need. When I first started recording into a DAW, I was using a program called Cakewalk, and from there I upgraded to Sonar, which was the nicer version of Cakewalk. And then I started messing with Reason. I still love Reason and I use it often. For some of you that have seen my other videos, I actually use Reason inside of Studio One for a lot of the features that come with Reason. If you're just getting started, Reason was kind of a really, really cool piece of software for me because it offered so much functionality, and anybody who knows about Reason and how it works, it really is based on how you hardwire or cable hardware in real life, and that it was something that actually helped me learn a lot about signal flow and cable routing and mix buses, all kinds of stuff. So find one that works well for you. They're all going to capture the same sound. Now, you have to hear what you're recording, and so how are we monitoring? Well, in my studio, I primarily am using the Audio-Technica ATH M30X headphones when I am working with headphones. Otherwise, I have these Behringer Truth monitors that they're big, heavy, kind of a beefy monitor, but they sound fantastic in my tiny little space here. Their frequency response and tone shaping settings really give me a valuable tool when I'm doing my mixes. I also use AKG K240 open back headphones, especially if I'm playing guitar or if I'm performing and I want to have kind of a blend of the actual sound from the instrument as well as the recorded signal. Those work fantastic. It's one of the most important considerations in your studios, how you're hearing your sound. And in a small space like this, I don't have it completely treated with, the most correct acoustic treatment that I could possibly have. So I'm looking for some different options, and these do the trick for me. Next, I have a number of Midi controllers that I will break out. I have Arturias, I have Akai, I have some different stuff, but I always go back to this old Oxygen 49 MIDI controller because of the ease of use with this. It has 49 keys, as the name implies, pitch and modulation. You've got rotary dials, you've got faders, you've got a lot of assignability on here and flexibility with how this controller can be used. This has done an amazing job for me. Now, I also actually have a very small Korg Nano pad, and I use that for traveling. That works really, really well to just slide into a backpack. But in my studio, what you're going to find on any given day is this Oxygen 49. It's been a workhorse. It's an older MIDI controller, but it does the trick. I find as I'm getting older that I'm working a lot inside the box versus having a ton of hardware. Now, I do have hardware that I use, primarily some equalizers and some compressors. That's not to say that you can't do those things completely within your DAW and the plugins that are available, because you can, and sometimes with much better effect. I do run a headphone amplifier out of my Apollo Twin. Oftentimes, if I'm tracking multiple people, I will need to split that signal and create mix cues for different headphone mixes. And what I'm using for that is a PreSonus HP4. So all said and done, I can create 5 headphone mixes, including the headphone jack on the Apollo Twin, and send that out, and that does excellent job for me. Now, more often than not, I'm just recording myself. Now, of course, there's a lot more that goes into every recording studio out there, and you might not use everything that I'm using here in my studio. You may use a lot more, but hopefully this was something that helps you get inspired and helps you see a sneak peek behind the curtain of another artist out there, and can inspire you to look at things a little bit different way, utilize your tools a little bit differently, and see what it takes to put together a recording studio that'll get you some quality results. I hope that you found this interesting and inspiring in the same way that I've found these videos inspiring over the years. So I do also want to point out that you can see that my studio is well loved and well used. There's a lot of dust that is on these pieces of equipment. I saw in filming this that there's dust all over the place, fingerprints, and I contemplated whether I should clean that off. But I wanted to make this video and show what it looks like every day when I walk into here and start creating, and I thought that that was the best way to make it a little bit more realistic experience from my recording studio to you. So thanks for joining me, and until next time, take care.